Are you flipping the rage bait on me?
What is that existence? Responding to chuds. I love doing it.
Let's go with the dog against the dogs.
Alabama.
When I had a choice to pick a co-host.
I know.
Oh, you're betting on the game. Why would you be doing that? Because it's fun. What are you laughing at?
Just the lo-fi trap beat always gets me at the end. It just really always brings me back.
Welcome back to Geek'd Up Bets. Joe DeLeone and Sean Anderson here to help you get ready for betting on the weekend for the AFC and NFC championship game. Do us a favor if you're tuning in either live or on the rewatch, hit that like button, drop a comment on your favorite bet of the weekend. Also, make sure you are subscribed. We got our favorite picks for Sunday, as well as, of course, for odds of the week. We're going to also deliver some of our Jesus, I lost my train of thought there. We've got random bets coming up. We've got frauds of the week. We've got AI pick of the week. We're going to hear from the idiot chat bot that's coming in with his 0-3 streak on his last three picks. And then, of course, we're going to wrap things up with cursed prop bets. Sean, let's waste no time. We're going on over to the NFL first. Rams versus the Seahawks. Start with our straight up pick here. What do you like?
Seahawks giving 2.5. It's a dominant team. Shake your head all you want, you coward. This Seahawks team is legit. Sam Darnold, quarterback of the future, going up against quarterback of the past, Matt Stafford. Hey, look at that. Even if Matt Stafford wins the MVP, the Rams have shown me enough weakness compared to the Seahawks, just total domination, that I wouldn't go any other way. The Rams are a great story. The Rams have tons of talent, but you could say the same thing about Seattle, and I will. There were the Seattle offense last week. What they did with Kenneth Walker and his emergence and him stepping up when they really needed someone to step up told me a lot about this team. It was all regular season. Oh, Darnold to JSN, Darnold to JSN, Darnold to JSN, and this is awesome. Like, thank God Darnold's playing well and our one wide receiver is looking like a one wide receiver. Last week, they looked like a one team. They looked like the best team in the NFC, whereas the Rams duking it out, scrapping and clawing. And if you think that that's something that boosts them next week, so be it. But guess what? They're still playing in the cold. They're still playing in the wet. They're still going to be outside, which has been disadvantageous for them all playoffs. And they're playing against a team, Seattle, that I think is pretty fired up to play outside.
I'm on the opposite side on this. I am on the opposite side as you on this. Can't talk today. I don't know what it is. Like I got hit in the head or something. I completely disagree with everything that you just said.
I don't see how.
I think that it is a prisoner of the moment type of a situation, just like we had with Ole Miss a couple of weeks ago. Kind of reminds me of that. We're all bought in. Oh my God, this is such an amazing moment for them. Look at this great victory that they had. It also kind of reminds me of how everybody assumed Indiana would boat race Miami. That game was close. It was a hard-fought battle. You know what? The last two times that these two teams faced off, they were hard-fought, close battles. I think that the Rams have an opportunity here to catch off guard the Seahawks team that thinks they're all high and mighty after dismantling an already torn apart 49ers team. They have been a complete mess in terms of the injuries that decimated that roster. Of course they were going to blow out that 49ers team. They were skidding to that point. I said this to you after the games wrapped up on Sunday. I think that blowout win does not tell me anything.
Oh, my
It does not tell me anything. Great win at home. Good job. The Rams have been here before. Sean McVay has been here before. Matthew Stafford has been here before. This is a total experience play where that catches up against Sam Darnold, who's been great this year, has been solid, but is going to get caught off guard by this Rams team.
Score-wise, the Rams are the Ole Miss team, and the Seahawks are the Indiana team. Ole Miss just gutted out a gutty win and close wins, whereas Indiana, what'd they do to Oregon? Blew them the hell out. What'd they do all playoffs? Blew them the hell out. Seattle, I'm not predicting blowout. It might look a little more like the national championship game, but Indiana won that too. So, in your direct comparison, I disagree. I think your team, the Los Angeles Rams, are the scrappy underdogs, the team that we thought
But
they were
wait,
really
but
good.
hold on. This is
And then
what-
we thought they were good all season when they had Kiffin, and
Uh-huh.
then Kiffin left, and they went on a skid, and then they were like, "Oh, what's going to happen now?" And that skid that they're on right now is playing in the cold playoffs.
But it's not a skid though for me. This whole perception and how we looked at the Rams has been altered literally because of a fourth quarter comeback. The way that we have looked at Seattle has been just off of the fact that they came back in the fourth quarter. They wouldn't have had the number 1 overall seed if they had lost that game with Darnold having multiple interceptions on that Thursday Night Football game.
sure.
We would have been discussing the Seahawks in a position to have been knocked out early in the playoffs and for them to have skidded to the finish, for them to have not finished effectively. We would have not had this same hype on them. They caught really good timing with their remaining games at the end of the year for them to have played the 49ers twice with how banged up they were.
I'm sure I sound like a picky jerk talking about the Rams, but I didn't like that they had to come back against Carolina. I didn't like that they had to go and have a close win against them. I didn't like that they had to go to overtime with the Bears.
The Rams lost to the Panthers.
in the playoffs.
Oh, in the playoffs. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I didn't like that. Maybe that makes me picky. Maybe I should just be one of these guys that says a win's a win in the playoffs, a win's a win, but that's fine. We're picking winners here. It's different. I'm not saying it's not been
So
a
you're
good
using
season.
one game though.
How about
from the Seahawks?
overtime versus Chicago?
I would argue in the NFL, it is more impressive and important to me that you finish a close game like that.
I think that
I'm supposed to be impressed by smoking a bad, banged up team.
The 49ers were not a bad team. The 49ers
They
were a
barely
good
beat
team.
the Eagles because the Eagles handed it to them. If Jalen Hurts wasn't so ass, the Eagles should have won that game.
Then now we're making if man qualifications here on Jalen. We don't have the bandwidth for more
But
than
it's
one
it's
if man.
reverse.
We can't. We don't have the bandwidth.
Joel Embiid Hurts over here
okay.
can't finish in a playoff game.
That's a rich fame. Look, that 49ers win was awesome. 41 points. It wasn't close. They ended the game in the first quarter. That lets me know that they're about business. And they're at home. They're at home, Joe. They're in cold. Seattle, whatever you want to say about that sports city, that football team and how they get up for soccer, boo. How they all pretend that they like soccer and the Seattle Wild or whatever they're called. That stinks. I think they're the Timber. Their football fans are pretty good. Their football fans get loud. And the Rams, they're not used to that. They play in a shopping mall. They play in a Costco with a bunch of people that are just going in getting their groceries. That's what they play in. They're about to go into Seattle and get
smoked. They just won on the road
smoked.
in Chicago in frigid temperatures. You're saying that they don't know how to win on the road?
Caleb threw a bad pass. If Caleb was dialed, they would be sent home, and we'd all be picking Seattle over Chicago. That's the situation about it.
I think that you're completely underestimating this team in the Rams, and I'll end up being correct, and my bet will end up hitting, and I'll end up passing you.
I'm rooting for you, pal.
Patriots Broncos. I believe you and I are on the same side here.
Mm-hmm.
Patriots are favored by 4.5 points. I'm going with the Patriots. This is an absolute no-brainer. This line's moved, and I keep seeing people trying to pitch the Broncos. Guys, there's no reason to buy it. Jarrett Stidham's not a good quarterback. When has Jarrett Stidham ever been a good quarterback? The dude would be starting if there was a belief that he could do something for this Broncos team.
There would have been murmurs of like, hey, because Bo Nix didn't play a perfect season. He had some duds this year. There would have been murmurs of, hey, do we need to put Stidham in? He's pretty good. There was never that.
He has never been a guy that they can rely on. And the most key part of this, their offense was shaky last week against the Bills. Their defense was shaky last week against the Bills. You know how they were able to win? It's because Bo Nix made a lot of really big plays with great timing. And it also required a lot of calls going the Broncos' way and a lot of well-timed turnovers and just general mistakes from Josh Allen. I think that with the way that Buffalo ran the ball paints an easy picture for how New England's going to run the ball. I also think, and this is the biggest for me, the hell that CJ Stroud got put into going up against that defense. I get that the Patriots are traveling, but that was a meltdown of a game from CJ Stroud. Is Jarrett Stidham better than CJ Stroud? No, absolutely not. He is going to be tormented. This game is going to be a blowout. I also like the under. I didn't have that in my picks. I don't know if you had that in your extra picks.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have that as one of your extra picks?
Yeah, I like it. I like everything.
Oh,
that
you did have it.
you're
Okay, so
saying
I'll
right
save
now.
I'll save the analysis on the under for later. But no one should be buying into the Broncos.
No, it's kind of ridiculous. And I know that this is a team and a fandom in Denver that is trying to find hope at the bottom of a well, and they're just in the the reality is you're just stuck in the bottom of a well with no light. Like that's the real situation. Like, you got to hope that someone stumbles across the well and they have a rope to get you out. If not, your current situation, you're in the bottom of a dark well. Learn how to climb up it. You can't do that because Jarrett Stidham didn't bring a ladder. He is not a good enough quarterback to beat the Patriots. And I also, even if Bo Nix was playing, even if he didn't get hurt, I'd still take the Patriots 4.5. I'd still take Maye to outduel the Broncos. It just looked like last week. It's exactly what it looked like.
It probably would have been a pick 'em. I'd imagine the Broncos probably would have been favored at home.
I would have teased it up. This Patriots team is take no prisoners. They're so good on offense. Their defense is getting better when it gets colder. It's just a team on a mission, because of course it is, because they found the right coach and the quarterback panned out and the team is playing for a Super Bowl. Somehow he locked them in about week 7 and said, hey fellas, we're not fluking this thing up this year. We are actually legitimately good. So start playing like it. And they did start playing like it. And the New England Patriots are going to cover against the Broncos easily. I took this at 5.5 earlier in the week when it first dropped because I thought that line was too disrespectful. I'll double down. I got a 4-unit
I thought that was going to
playout.
move. I thought that was going to. I honestly
Why is it not moving up?
I'm sure that everyone's overthinking this and everybody's trying to fun. Oh, you got cooked in the comments.
Who was trying to get on me?
He said stuck in the bottom of a well, says the Falcons pro.
Yeah, I'm in the well too. I've been in the well. I've been molded by the well. I'm freaking Bane and trying to get up out of a Razgul or whatever it was called. I'm trying to get out. All right. So I maybe I'd be able to identify another sick dog if I were a sick dog. All right. So don't go locking in on me thinking that you are not in the bottom of the well. You certainly are. Stack of Fritz.
How could they tell that you were a Falcons fan? You don't even have any like protruding Falcons gear on at the current moment. That's interesting. Maybe it's I don't know. I have no idea. He's right though. You don't have a ton of room to talk, but at the same time, this is not a circumstance to get excited. This is not a circumstance to be optimistic.
It's a formality. It is, hey, let's turn on the TV. It's going to be Sunday. It's going to be snowing all across the country. We're all going to be bored out of our minds just watching this play out. Oh, Ramondre gets in? Sure. Travion gets in? Sure. Anybody that I didn't bet on gets in? Of course. Like that's the whole situation there, is that who do you bet on for the Patriots to score? You got no clue every single week. Feels like the 11 Saints, where it's Devery Henderson and Pierre Thomas, and everybody's just like taking turns getting in the end zone. You don't know who. It's a great committee, but it's going to be a bloodbath.
All right, let's dish out some of our other favorite picks that we like for the championship games. We're each going to give out 3 bonus bets. My first bonus bet, I really like Pat Bryant over 15.5 receiving yards. Very low total. He has hit 9 of the last 10 games on this total. 15.5 receiving yards. Pat Bryant's been a really underrated player in this offense. And look, I get it. We just sat here, crapped all over Jarrett Stidham. I was iffy on dishing this one out because of this. I kept thinking to myself, you know what? Well, is there this possibility that Stidham's so bad that Pat Bryant can't get going whatsoever? And he's just, nobody can make any big plays in this game. We just need one reception from Pat Bryant. We just need one 16-plus yard reception from him, or 2 catches, and he ends up hitting this. The fact that he has trended and has hit 9 of the last 10 games over this total makes me feel pretty good. I think Stidham is going to need to get creative with different targets than just going to Cortland Sutton. He'll need to rely on somebody else.
I hate it.
Why?
Because I don't have the courage to take something like this. I don't have the courage to select a Broncos receiving option in this game. I just don't. My first pick, that is Kenneth Walker over 19.5 rush attempts in this game versus Los Angeles. He had 19 last week, and the other, the leech, the vulture, the touchdown vulture, Zach Charbonnet, that also takes rushing attempts from Kenneth, is out with a torn ACL. So They're going to have to lean on the big dog. Seattle is going to try to be physical in this game. If they get a lead, they're going to run the ball with Kenneth Walker. If it is a close game, they're going to run the ball with Kenneth Walker. The only way they don't run the ball with Kenneth Walker is if the Rams jump out to a 17-0 lead, and then that bet is cooked. That is the one situation where it doesn't happen. Either the other two, I think, are more likely to transpire, where it's Kenneth Walker, it's late January. We have to run the ball to get the offense going. It is a better offense when Walker is involved. 3 touchdowns last week. He had a great game. He's got the hot hand, hot legs. I think they roll with Kenneth.
I think that makes plenty of sense. I also like the rush attempt bets often more than the rush yardage or total yardage if there is recent evidence to suggest that it could possibly hit. The fact that they leaned on him so much last week, I think, is really solid to prove that they're going to want to get him the football. They've wanted to get him the ball often. Him getting 20 carries seems totally plausible. Who's third on their depth chart?
Yeah,
I don't know enough about the Seahawks depth chart to even know who they would turn to.
Oh, let's see here. The running back room, as per the ESPN depth chart. Running back 1, Kenneth Walker. Second, George Halani, IR designation. Third, Zach Charbonnet, out designation. Fourth, Kenny McIntosh, IR designation. So
who the
hell?
Per
the IR depth chart, or per the ESPN depth chart, he's the only running back that they have in this game.
Our lads is usually a little bit more reliable.
They'll probably hand it off to
Velus Jones.
Oh, yeah, Velus Jones. Yeah. Okay. Look, if we're Seattle and we are handing the ball off to Velus Jones more than 4 times in this game, fire the coach. If you're handing it off to frickin' Rashid Shaheed 6 times and keeping it out of Kenneth Walker's hand, fire the coach. It's a fireable offense to not give Kenneth Walker every single carry in this game.
Velus Jones is going to get 20 carries in this game.
What is wrong with you?
Watch that happen.
They
suddenly
should sell
the hot
the team
hand.
if that happened.
The hot hand ends up taking over.
That would be a gambling investigation the next day. The very next day, anybody that took an over rush attempt from either of those dudes is investigated. And I'm starting it. I'm calling the troops. Get in on them.
All right, I'm taking my next bet. I really like Matthew Stafford over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's 13 of his last 15 for that total, 9 of his last 10 for that total. And before the game in the frigid temperatures against the Bears, he had 12 straight games where he went over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think because he didn't hit that total last week, it lowers that number for us and maybe lowers the expectation going up against this Seahawks team. They're going to need him to ball out. They're going to need a big performance from him. It feels pretty solid for him to get 2 touchdowns.
Look, it's smart enough. It's fine with me. It's Matt Stafford in a great year for him in the playoffs. Like, am I getting caught up in what he did in a dome in October? Maybe. But it's Matt Stafford. And if they want to go to the Super Bowl, you're right. He does have to have a good game. He does have to be able to throw a touchdown or 2. So I like it. Could he throw one to Kyren, please? And then we all win and we're all happy because I have Kyren Williams anytime touchdown plus 115. I was so happy last week. Took that first touchdown of the game. I was thrilled. I said, of course, I'm so smart. I'm a genius. Everyone else around me is so stupid because they didn't know that Kyren Williams gets in the end zone all the time. It's what he does. And the Rams are not a dumb team either. They say, hey, if we're within the 7-yard line, let's hand it off to our running back because that's what historically smart teams do, and they're going to do it. Kyren Williams getting in for a touchdown. I love it. He could do it receiving-wise, and then we all win, and we're all happy. You don't have to sit here and poo-poo my bet. You really don't have to. I'm sure you will, but you don't have to. We could all win on this one.
Well, I'm a big fan of Kyren. I think it's been proven that Kyren is somebody who it's almost like a pitcher that you save for the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
You know that he's good. You know that he's reliable during the regular season, but boom, we're going to feed him. We're going to give him the ball as much as possible, especially in red zone situations, because he's always going to hold on to it.
Yep.
He's not going to make any mistakes, and he's going to fight to get into the end zone.
Great underdog story also. Just tremendous.
Shut up. Shut up.
What are you talking about?
Shut up. I know you stop doing this bit. Stop doing this bit.
What bit?
I hate that you do this bit with Kyren, who's like one of my favorite players in the NFL. Because he went to Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's a great underdog story. He came out of
Notre
Notre Dame, and he came out of nowhere. It's awesome for him. I'm rooting for him. I'm a huge fan of Kyren Williams.
You're a bad person. I think my favorite bet of the weekend, Jarrett Stidham under 19.5 completions. I bet this one so freaking quickly when I found it and I discovered it. This could be 12, and I would bet the under on completions. Again, here, forget everything that I talked about here when we previewed the Broncos Patriots game and why I don't think he's a very good quarterback. Look at what just happened with CJ Stroud. I understand that CJ Stroud has struggled. He hasn't been great recently, but he's still a good starting caliber NFL quarterback. He's not a backup. He's not a chud backup like Jarrett Stidham. Stidham is going into an absolute fire pit. It is a gauntlet that he is going to be facing here against this Patriots defense. They get pressure. They force turnovers. They wreak havoc. Him completing more than 19 passes will not happen. Most importantly, this offense, it's not going to be if anyone wants to make the counter argument of, well, if they want to stay in the game, they're going to need a big game out of them. They're not going to be in the game. They're not going to be in the game. This is going to be, it feels like a 28-3 type of a game. It'll be in and out. Thanks for showing up. This was boring.
What were those numbers for?
What do you?
The hell were those numbers for?
Sorry.
Man? What was that for? There's so many numbers to choose from. What the hell, dude? Yeah, I like it. Jarrett Stidham, betting on his downfall in this one is a smart play. Betting on him just to be average Jarrett Stidham, that's under 20 completions. Like, that's what it is. That's what we're looking at with him. Staying in this one, under 42.5 is my final bet for the weekend between Denver and New England. You're on it. Even if it is 28-3, that hits the under. If the Patriots score 35 points and the Broncos score 1 touchdown, that's the under. Denver, it's very possible they don't eclipse New England's, I'm not going to say 50 because that's a bit hyperbolic. It's very possible they don't eclipse New England's 30-yard line in this game. I'm very confident in that. Then it's a field goal fest, and you're outside, and it's January. So, and it's Colorado. Good luck. It's a mess what they have to do with on offense. And New England, they can just score. We'll do a touchdown a quarter. We'll just churn and grind you out. They don't have to be spectacular. They don't have to blow the doors off. They're not going to score 44 points by themselves. They're not going to break the over by themselves. The under is the only play in this game. You're going to be looking at it in the first quarter. It's going to be 3-0. And then you're going to be looking at it in the second quarter. It's going to be 10-0. You're like, wow, I guess that under was a pretty good play. And then the under is going to be set at, guess what? 30 points. Get it now. I like this 42.5.
The other thing, too, that comes with this, forget the circumstance of what you just talked about here, where it's this dominant big victory for the Patriots. If the Broncos keep this close, there is no shot. I know we're digging into Jarrett Stidham here. There is just no shot this becomes a shootout. If this game is close, it is going to be a low-scoring defensive battle. It is going to be the Broncos defense rebounding after last week. And I know that when we did that specific preview, we talked a bit about how they looked shaky against the Bills. The run defense wasn't very good. If they rebound and they play a lot better and they do force Drake Maye to turn the ball over and they do get sacks and pressures like they've done all year long, even if that comes to fruition, it means the game will be super, super low scoring. There is just no world that the Broncos explode and put up a ton of points. It does not make any sense. If Jarrett Stidham does that, it'll be one of the greatest stories in NFL history.
Yeah.
Not even forget playoff history, Broncos history, NFL history. Coming off of a cold bench after the starter went down with a season-ending injury to step in, light up a box score against one of the best defenses in the NFL, a team that completely embarrassed the last quarterback that they saw. I don't think people understand how improbable that is.
It'd be a miracle. It would be a football miracle for that to happen. And then if that happens, guess what? We're just on the other side of the fence of a miracle. And then you can't get mad at it. Like, you can be angry, but in the grand scheme of things, you're like, we're just witnessing something that would never happen again, ever, ever, ever. So what are you going to do? Like, what do you do when that happens? You take it on the chin like a man. But the smart play is the under. The smart play is New England. Just get all over it. Just be smart this weekend. Be smart.
In the chat, by the way, Stack of Fritz said RJ Harvey 12 plus carries. I'm trying to find I'm trying to find what his rushing attempt total is. I can't find it. I don't know if it is set at 12 or not, but if it's hovering around 12, that is a number that I would absolutely grab. I feel like
Why don't they have it? Yeah, I'm with you here.
Are you not seeing it on FanDuel either?
I'm not seeing it either.
I can't stand
probably because the processing, they can't process 33 carries expected for RJ Harvey, so they have to. They're still working through the code because they've never had to make a rushing prop so high before.
Just trying to really quickly see if I could end up finding this. It has got to be. I'm going on Betting Pros to see if RJ Harvey. Oh, 12.5 rushing attempts.
Yeah.
So we're on point there. It's a good bet. I really like that. He hasn't hit that trend much recently. In the last 5, he's 3 of 5. In the last 10, he's 6 of 10. He's hit it enough. Plus 102 odds is pretty good too. He's hit it enough that I feel strong about it. But the specific circumstance here is they're going to need to run the ball. They're going to want to run the rock. And also, most importantly, I like that more than his rushing total. Because last week we saw Woody Marks get completely shut down at the line of scrimmage. They couldn't get anything going on the ground. So they might have to just keep ramming their head against the brick wall. So that's a good shout there. That's a good shout.
Yeah, I like it. They throw the ball to him a lot. And if you're going to go with his yards,
total touches,
it would have to be I'd go total touches or I'd go rush plus receiving yards.
I'm not seeing do you see total touches? His rushing receiving yards total is 61.5. I hate that.
That's nasty.
I don't like that. That's way too high. Well, knowing how much Woody Marks, and I hit the under when I took the under last week, knowing how much he struggled, I do not feel comfortable taking that.
They shut his ass down. And Denver got their run game shut down last week. So that's a mess, man.
That's a good shot, though. I like that shot.
But what are you going to do? You're going to take a Jaleel bet? You're going to take a Jaleel McLaughlin prop?
I wonder if I can find a Jaleel. I wonder if there's some good value.
Look, once Slobbins went out, once J.K. Dobbins went out,
what are you doing?
It's unnecessary. I don't know. RJ Harvey was supposed to be the big bell cow guy. I'm waiting for him to become an actual menacing running back that you cannot let get into space. And maybe it's just not his rookie year. I don't know. Maybe that the kid continues to develop. It's not happening versus New England. At least the big, explosive 110 yards, 2 touchdown game. I still like the 12 carries, though. I really like that prop.
Yeah, that's actually, I think I'm going to take that after we finish this show. Good shout from Stack of Fritz 96. All right, Sean, let's move on here to frauds of the week, the teams that we believe are the most fraudulent. This is not just in the NFL as we're transitioning to basketball. We're going to start doing some college basketball betting when things are going to get real nice and spicy. Because I'm either going to be real cracked like I was last year, or I'm going to be completely frozen like I was in college football this season. My fraud of the week, I'm going with the Seahawks. You just heard my whole argument here. I think that everybody is blindly putting faith into the Seahawks because they beat up on a dilapidated, banged-up team that has substation emissions turning their tendons into much.
Conspiracy and revisionist history. You cannot double down on that. You cannot.
What do you mean?
No.
What do you mean revisionist history?
We were not looking at the Seahawks as weak. We were looking at them as banged up. You're calling them an infantry unit going up against a cannon fire.
They
were not.
They were. They didn't have Kittle. They didn't have Nick Bosa. They didn't have so many important players the whole season. And it finally came. It wasn't even a banged up car that was driving up to a stoplight. It was a dude sitting in just the driver's seat with one wheel hanging on. The whole rest of the car was gone miles ago. They shouldn't have made it this far. But you want to
It was the magnetic conditions that got them that far. That's what happened.
Look, credit to Shanahan, man. Credit to him. But I think that everybody is just blindly going like, wow, that was such a great victory. Rams just have juice. Rams just have that juice.
They don't have Seahawks juice. I'm sure you saw the Seahawks hype video that came out where Macdonald predicted the NFC championship game scenario. And guess what? They're in it. I tell you, I'm a big moron. I see something like that and I say, wow, this team is pretty legitimate. I don't agree with Seahawks.
I've heard you speak quite negatively about Sam Darnold and call him a playoff fraud. multiple times before, and now all of a sudden he's him. And
He's got to win. Yeah. I
against a banged up team.
I'll take it. He had the Week 18 win, and then he had another win. Give it to me. Give me Sam Darnold not like completely melting
down. The Week 18 game was against the same team that he just beat.
It's hard to beat a good team twice. Not that hard for Big Sammy D.
Banged up team. The same banged up team twice. Wasn't also the other thing too? Wasn't Week 17 against the Panthers, or am I missing that?
I can't remember what they did in Week 17.
Who's your fraud of the week?
My fraud of the week.
Is this a tonight bet?
I believe this is a tonight bet. Let me just confirm. This is a tonight bet. That is the Denver Nuggets being frauds against the Washington Wizards. Denver Nuggets giving 6 points to the Wizards. Let me tell you what the Nuggets have done. They've lost to the Charlotte Hornets in the last week or so.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to the Lakers by 8 points, and now they're playing Washington again. The last time they played the Wiz, they won by 6 points. So I'm liking this. I like the momentum of the Washington Wizards as a Washington Wizards fan, one of the three out there.
Whoa, wait. Okay.
We got Trae Young, and we're getting Zion. And we're getting Zion.
Fat Zion.
Oh, whoa. Zion in DC would have a good time.
Debo and Zion Williamson are the same person, but different sports.
That's crazy.
I have asked you 100 times over.
Yeah.
Who your basketball team is 100 times over. And I get deflection every single time.
Yeah.
Now you're a Wizards fan.
That's right. Now that we're
but I can't
upwards.
Suddenly back the Knicks.
No, because I never left the Wizards. I just stopped talking about them out of shame. But now we're 10-32 and we're on the rise, man. We are absolutely climbing towards this. Fifth in the East.
What's your reason for why they're frauds, though? Why the Nuggets are frauds?
Nuggets are messing around. Nuggets losing to Charlotte. The Charlotte Hornets are even worse than the Wizards. They're an awful, awful team full of distractions. You don't lose to them. And I was watching the Nuggets play the Lakers. They look slow. They didn't look very what's the word? When the opposite of good ball movement. Like they didn't look like they were flowing very well. It looked like some
clunky.
Yeah, they look clunky. Thank you. Perfect.
Okay.
Clunky. They look clunky. The Wizards are a disaster. But the Wizards have some momentum. Like I like the Wizards. I want to bet on the Wizards against these fraudulent Nuggets team. Plus, reported Nikola Jokic, while in DC, spotted in Ambar. It is a restaurant bar in DC.
Is this
I think
news?
It's got a couple locations. And if you're going there, bad scene. Because I went there once. I went on a bad date at Ambar, DC. I didn't order any food. I had 2 drinks. I forgot to ask the girl if she wanted to eat. It was just kind of talking back and forth. And it was a total dud stinkeroo date. So Jokic, you're in the funk. If you went to the same one as me, he's got the curse. He's got the Anderson date curse on him. You're not going to perform that well, big man.
I always love getting. Okay, actually, wait, first of all, how did you know that he was at this Balkan restaurant?
I don't know.
Like
it was
DC,
reported, some DC person.
Okay. I always love getting the scuttlebutt on bad dates that you go on. How did you meet this girl?
I met her at a New Year's party.
Okay.
And it was a New Year's party I wasn't invited to. It was at this big mansion. I think like 8 dudes were renting out this mansion in Arlington. And I walked in and I abandoned some other New Year's plans that I had. I'm like, I got invited to this last minute, showed up, like 2 dudes that I knew. I was already a little tanked. And I'm walking around. I'm like, I don't know anybody here. So I'm just going to start rifling through the drinks. I'm going to get a drink, walk around, see this girl. I don't know if it was New Year's Eve confidence, started chatting her up. It was going decently. And then got her number, said, oh, hey, let's do a date. Let's get a date going. Go on a date. She worked on Capitol Hill. I think she was in politics, which,
You think or she was
I know
in
she was in politics. I didn't know at the time. I couldn't remember what she did. I think I even said, where did we meet? Like, I forgot exactly where we had met, and it was at the party.
You said to her, holy shit. On the day you said, where did we meet?
That was an inside thought that escaped out loud, and I think that's where I sunk myself. I mean, it was fine. Like
Mr. Bell, I meet so many women. I don't remember where I met you.
I couldn't.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was a one date, and then it was done. And then I
never heard from her again?
No. A couple times when her representative was on the news or something like that, or I'd ask her, hey, is this your boy up on the TV making
just random people?
Yeah, just random people.
And she's just texts you back, no.
She's like, no, that's not my guy.
Why were the vibes of the date bad?
Oh, I forgot to even ask her if she wanted food, and then it was
Did she want food?
I don't know. I never even did that. She just sat down and we started freaking yapping.
Did she get a drink at least?
Yeah, I think so. I think I had like 3. She had 2 or something. It was fine, but it was freezing out too. Yeah, no. I don't even know if there was a hug at the end of the night. I don't know if there was a kiss. Nothing. Terrible. Bad date. Don't go.
You're
to
a bad operator, man. You're just a bad. I can't believe you said out
It wouldn't
loud.
have worked.
Where did we meet?
She was really into politics. She was like really into her job, and I'm like, okay, that's your deal. Like, this is not something that is going to click with me. Because if we're hanging out,
want to be a politician, or she wants to work on the back end.
I don't.
Yeah, that doesn't work for you. You can't have big master chud Sean Anderson with someone.
You know what?
Someone
I'm not going to defend not being a master chud. Right now. I'm not even going to fight back on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're breaking down a bad date that went poor, well, Jokic is also a giant chud for going to this restaurant. Was he also on a date, or was he just at the restaurant?
I don't know. He probably was at the restaurant. I think it's Balkan food. I wouldn't know because I didn't eat and I was starving.
Why did you pick the restaurant?
It was trendy. It was like a trendy restaurant. I got a recommendation or something. Or you know what? I don't even think I did. I think I looked on Google and I'm like,
just
picked
the restaurant.
I don't know. What is it? What are you as a man asking for recommendations? What is that?
Oh yeah.
I won't do it. I won't ask.
I'll do it occasionally, depending on what it's for. 90% of the time, and I don't know why more guys don't do this. This is always perplexing to me. Any guy who tells me that they asked the girl that they're taking on a date where they wanted to go, that is ultimate chud behavior.
That's big time chud.
Literally open where they tell you where they live. You open a map and you just start clicking. That's what I do. Just start clicking. This one's got a 4.5-star review on Apple Maps. We're going here. That's it.
How'd you know about this place?
Somebody told me about it. Yeah, I heard about it. People have been telling me about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to anybody. I got no sourcing, and I'm not going to. And there's a person that we know that revels in the opportunity to give out recommendations. And I'll never give him that power. I never will. Even if he's giving me great advice, and he will. Like, if we're going out drinking or doing whatever, it's always a pretty good spot, and he knows.
I think I'm going to name drop. I don't give a shit. Chance I am done letting him pick where we go. By the way,
what are you talking about?
When we went to Bleecker Street to watch the wild card round games, that pissed me off. You were pissed off.
We were in circumstances brought on by you. By the way, it was never our plan. Our plan was to sit in the apartment.
It was easy for us to go meet up with him though, and go to the bar. And got off right on the train. We should have known that Bleecker Street Bar would have. Okay, we're going way down the.
What segment are we in?
Random bet of the week, where we bet on a completely random sport that we don't know anything about. I decided Australian Open, I think, is happening. Again, goes to show how little tennis I know about. I bet on Iva Jovic, plus 106 versus Jasmine Poloni. I have no idea what plus 106. Polini?
Isn't that an Italian name? What are you doing? Poloni. Excuse me, bartender. Can I get a Poloni, please? I am thirsty. You are a doofus.
Shut up. I don't know what plus 106 means. Does that mean they win?
I think it means they win.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, the current standings, I'm 4-3. You're 3-4 in random bets. So I've been on a heater lately. So let's hope. Is it Jovic or Jovic?
Eva
Jovic.
Jovic or Jovic. I'd say
guy goes to show how much I hate tennis. I can't emphasize. Had an ex that played tennis in college. I absolutely hate her. So now anytime that somebody tells me they want to watch tennis, I get pissed off. It's not no, I'm good. I don't want to watch it. No, I tell them I'm not watching that bullshit. Do not put that on. We were at a bar. We were at a bar once for the opening week of the NFL, and they think they had Wimbledon on. And they wouldn't. There was one giant big TV. They wouldn't turn it off and put the NFL game on. The Packers, who were the Packers playing?
The freaking Eagles. It was in Brazil.
It was the opening game of the season, and they wouldn't switch it over. And it absolutely pissed me off because all these dorks in the bar wanted to watch Wimbledon. Football is more important than Wimbledon.
You can't make your bar look like in the most awesome Irish pub available, and then inside it's like a tennis crowd. You can't have that. That's not allowed. I'm sorry. I'm also going in tennis. I'm taking a big underdog, a DC underdog, my favorite tennis player. That's Francis Tiafoe. Plus 480 underdog versus Alex de Minaur in the Australian Open.
Why is he such a big dog?
I don't know. I love Francis Tiafoe.
I thought he was good. That's like one of the few guys that I know. I'm surprised that he's.
I like Tiafoe. I'm betting
Minaur like the LeBron of
Never even
tennis?
heard of him. Like I sometimes I'll hear about these tennis upstart guys like Sinner or Alcaraz or like
Sure.
or like Blake Shelton, or I don't know if his first name's Blake. Whatever, that Shelton kid that serves 1 billion miles
Blake
per hour.
Shelton's an artist.
I know. There's some other Shelton. I don't know. I think. But those, I've never heard of Alex de Minaur. So maybe he's another upstart. But I like Francis in this one.
All right, moving on over. Every single week, we receive a bet from our AI friend on the show, the Sports Geek, who is our the company that we work for in the show that we do this through, has an AI betting model that produces bets every single day. It's pretty accurate, does a pretty good job. We were asked to let the robot contribute one bet per show. And he's on an 0-3 streak. He's been struggling. He hasn't been doing very good. Every week he calls in and gives us a voicemail. He updates us and he gives us his pick. So right now he's got a pick for us this week. His current standings are 3-1. Not doing so hot. Where is his voicemail?
Yeah, it's in sounds here, pal.
Which one?
It's the one that says VM.
Is it 122?
Hey, what's
Okay.
up, you
Yeah.
geeks? 3 more games left before you have to be yourselves again without football. I have a winner for you. You need it. Because Joe has been getting his butt spat in, and Sean has turned sickly. Wonder why an immune system can be so vulnerable with all the processed food, beer, and no exercise he does.
Yeah.
I also picked up on your side wager last week about whether the Giants or Falcons will have more wins next year. It's the Giants, by the way. They're really, 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 really good with a really smart and capable quarterback and plenty of issues that can be fixed in one draft.
No, I
Just
disagree.
like Joe Bruno DeLeone said, the Giants will win the Super Bowl next year, and it won't be remotely close.
Didn't say that.
That's what he said. Verbatim. And I want you to remember it. I couldn't fabricate that as I'm just a machine without the capacity of lying. Anyways, my winner this week is Rams covering the 2.5.
He's talking awful lot of smack with the Tommy Rees hire.
Okay. I don't think
Yeah,
he's a,
real
I don't think
big
it's
brain.
a Falcons fan.
Uh-huh.
I think that it's just saying
Trying to side with you. I
you
know
don't
it's clearly
like, you don't like that
sarcastic.
the bot
What
knew
did he
what you were
call?
going
What
to
did
say.
he call us at the beginning? That got bleeped out.
I just had to bleep that. I had to take a producer measurement to make sure that it wasn't.
I didn't know he was capable of that. He could curse us out like that. What a awfully pissed
also
off on his 0-3 streak.
You also dropped your full government. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
I'm not my full government would have been Joseph Bruno DeLeone, not
Oh.
Joe Bruno DeLeone. Nice. You got wrong information on
How
that
come
one.
you said I didn't say that? And then he knew exactly what you were going to say.
I'm pissed off that he read me like a book. He got a lot more
It's
uncensored
almost like
this
it's-
week. He's unhinged.
It's almost like it spent a lot of time with you and knows exactly what you're going to say.
I also this transition from him being existential and depressed last week to
Mhm.
just no holds bar. I'm going to be as inappropriate as possible.
I don't know why he's yelling at me about being sick. It happens. I am under the weather.
I'm actually shocked that you're not sick more often with how poorly you treat yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, here's a theory. I feel like you've been more sick than I've seen you. And I also feel like you've more recently been taking care of yourself better,
Yeah.
and you've been trying to be more active.
It's awful.
So the two must be connected. That you're
Yeah.
treating yourself better, so now your immune system's compromised.
You know what it is? And you know why I'm actually sick? It's because I was in Philly for one night in an apartment that doesn't have heat, and I slept on a futon by a window.
Your sisters don't have.
I don't know how
heat?
she doesn't have enough heat. She has enough, I guess, for herself. I woke up, I'm like, oh, scratching my throat. Where'd this come from? Was I yelling too much last night? And I'm like, oh no, here it comes. Sleeping in the cold. Don't do it. Can't do it.
All right,
I'm
wrapping
not
up.
going back there. I'm not going back to Philly. I'm not staying over. I'll get a hotel.
Wrapping up here with Cursed Prop Bets, which is where we build out our own prop bets, something that's not real, just a completely fake, made up line
Mm-hmm.
that we want to pitch to one another to see where we stand. Cursed Prop Bets is sponsored by the Beat the Geek contest. You can go sign up. There are a lot of great prizes for that. Head on over to the sportsgeek.com to find out what those prizes are and also to participate and try and beat the dummy AI bot and his weekly picks. It's a really fun contest. I'm actually in 4th place right now, so I've been doing pretty good. All right, your curse prop bet of the week.
My curse prop bet of the week comes from this idiot, Terrence Lawson, and made me have to talk about it. This loser, Terrence Lawson, that got 3 responses out of me on Twitter for no reason, stemming from a rather benign Bleacher Report betting prompt. Could 50 random guys beat an NFL team? And he's pushing me back, thinking that 50 random guys could beat an NFL team. They couldn't. The line in this hypothetical matchup would be 14.5 points between 50 regular dudes versus 11 NFL players. It wouldn't even be close. The NFL guys would smoke. They would obliterate 50 normal dudes on the field. Nobody can jump like these guys. No, these regular people couldn't protect the ball. So even if they were just like, we're going to hand it off and block, what do you do when Foye Oluokun punches that thing out? Are you going to be able to hold on to the rock? No, you're not. You can't protect the ball. You wouldn't be able to throw it. You wouldn't be able to run it. You couldn't block. Oh, they're saying it's an all-out blitz, Joe. They're saying they're just going to send 50 to the quarterback every time. Mistake. Total mistake. Doesn't matter. You could have 50 block in your quarterback, and Leonard Williams would still massacre them. It wouldn't even be remotely close. Terrence Lawson, jerk off, know nothing, loser. Sean Anderson knows what would happen between pro athletes and regular freaking chuds on a football field. They get smoked by more than 15 points.
Over under on 4.5 chud counter on the show. How many?
Are we at 4 right now?
I think we are.
Yeah.
We've been chudding it up this week. I mean, I would take that 14.5 point spread. Here's the way that I read into 50 random dudes on the field against 11 NFL players on the field at the same time. I read it as 50 guys who have not played organized football before. Maybe like maximum length high school football.
The prompt was your average 24-year-old guy.
We are not talking about maybe people that play Division III, Division II, maybe FCS football like we did. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about, also, the way that I read into this, not like hulking guys that maybe work in construction or something along those lines. I'm reading this
you may have 2 or 3 of those guys.
The goobers that you look around and see at the bar that are looking down at their phones with a receding hairline.
Exactly.
That was how I read into this. This was not with the caveat of you get to go pick 50 of the best non-NFL players that you can find. No, we're talking about averaged out 50 random dudes that did not play college football or NFL football. That was how I looked at this. And if you just went into a bar and you just started counting and pointing and grabbing guys, you might get a couple of big dudes. You might get a couple bodies. You might get some length, somebody who can maybe play over the middle and play some safety. You can put a nice big wall up over the top with some 6'4" dudes that you found in the bar. But for the vast majority, you guys are goobers. I'm a goober. We're all goobers. As somebody who played football at the Division I level, I can tell you right now, even if it was like 25 former D1 players that didn't sniff the NFL, probably still gets covered on with this 14.5 point spread. You don't realize the most important aspect about this. Not only is the speed at a ridiculous level, the physicality and the strength is something that I don't think
survive.
This is the most important aspect of this, Sean. People don't know what it's like to get hit. Forget you played high school football and you got hit before. Getting hit by an NFL player is like getting hit by a truck. You get hit, and you posted that video of Darnell Washington. You get hit by Darnell Washington, you get hit by Trent Williams.
Who's tackling these people?
That's the point.
Nobody
Just because you hop on and grab onto them doesn't mean you're taking them down. They are physical freaks.
You'd need 20 people to take them down, and then you're falling for 5 yards.
There would be so many people on the field that would get hit and they wouldn't get up. They just straight up would be wheezing in pain after getting hit. And it probably would be a normal, benign football field hit. People don't realize what that shit is like. And I obviously didn't play in the NFL. The jump from, just for me, when I covered punts as a long snapper, and some of the hits that I took, nothing crazy big, there is such a gigantic separation from getting hit on a college field to high school. I don't think people understand how any of this works. Everybody, you know what this kind of confirmed to me? People thinking that 50 people could stop 11 people on an NFL field. It confirmed to me that people who jump in the comments and try to belittle anyone's opinion that they disagree with, they think that they're not far off from being competitive.
Yeah.
They think that they're like, oh, well, if I had my chance, or they think that they're more athletic than they actually are. That's how I'm reading all this.
The real prop, the sub prop in this is what's the over under of roster spots that they would need to survive the game with 50, to end with 50 players on the field. You would probably need 400. You'd probably need 400 guys.
The amount of blown ACLs and torn labrums
of broken chests that would happen, that would take place.
Ribs,
like you're done. It would be an injury.
Concussions.
It would be injuries, multiple injuries every single play.
Concussions, and then people think that they got concussions. You're right.
I've just been blown away by this and seeing the response of it, and it wouldn't even be close. It really wouldn't be. The jump ball possibilities, all of it. I don't care how many people. It doesn't matter how many people you cover Ja'Marr Chase with. It really doesn't. If they throw it at 10 feet up in the air, the ball, Ja'Marr Chase comes down with it. And the other team has a guy that can maybe touch rim. Like maybe you got a guy that could do that.
There's two ways that I see that this going the way that the NFL could win this by a big margin. You either go Hail Mary jump ball every single time. Like you're just launching deep shots, hey, get down there, because they're not going to be able to get much pressure unless you decided to send 40.
I'd be in jumbo. Yeah, that's what they're saying. We'll send everybody. Fine. I'll go in jumbo.
That was my idea. I would keep all the receivers off the field. I would just run jumbo, multiple offensive linemen, 3 tight ends, and I would just run the ball. They wouldn't be able to get around the offensive line quick enough. You just push for 4 yards every single time, and you'd get more than 4 yards if you handed the ball off to, even if it's not Derrick Henry, even if it's just Kenneth Walker, you just hand the ball off to him every single play.
You think a regular person could even touch Nick Chubb? You think a regular person, what would they do? They're as big as Nick Chubb, one of Nick Chubb's legs.
Wait, and here's the other. We can continuously unpack this for the next hour. Here's the other part about this. It is a nuanced game.
Yeah.
You haven't been coached to play and be on the field. You think you're just going to be able to, I'm going to know my assignment and know where to be? Do you get a month to prepare?
They just run. I'll give them 2 months. I don't care. I would love to see an NFL coach with 2 months find a way to beat 50 guys on the field. They do it. They would make it look easy. These cracked out SOBs in the NFL, these coaches,
hold on,
would dissect 50 people.
Hold on. Well, so I think that we also have to include here, an NFL coach would not be on the side of the 50 people. You can't add.
No. They have regular coach. They have regular coach. You don't get NFL coach. Yeah, you don't get.
Yeah, you don't get that. I hate this. This did equally piss me off. All right, my curse prop of the week. Over under on the amount of hours it took Keon Coleman to realize that Terry Pagula and Brandon Beane took a shot at him. If you missed it yesterday, the Bills owner and general manager were doing their post-mortem press conference after firing Sean McDermott. Asked a lot of questions. They were asked about the Keon Coleman situation as if he was in jail. Meanwhile, he's just a kid who's struggling to get used to the NFL. Took the biggest dig on the planet, and the poor kid is just trying to get better.
Mm-hmm.
They should trade him, but over under on the amount of time that it took a young man who's oftentimes a little slow to get caught up to things. How long do you think?
I'll get about 4 hours. I'll get
4?
Yeah, about 4 hours. 4 hours after. Like, it's just, that's so tough. Keon's doing his best. And now rooting for Keon. I always rooted for Keon, by the way. I loved Keon coming out of college. And people are also like making the mistake of attacking people that thought he was going to be a decent prospect. Did you watch his tape at Florida State?
He was so good.
He was so good, dude. I'm sorry. Like he was a good receiver. And if he just didn't turn into an NFL guy, so be it. But I'm not going to have these revisionist history bros tell me that they were right about Keon Coleman. You weren't. He was making Randy Moss catches at Florida State. His Michigan State tape was unreal. Like
he was a damn good player. He's just not locked in.
He'll be fine. It'll click for him eventually. That's fine.
Hopefully. Here's one thing though, too, with this why maybe 4 hours is possible. I want to double check the quote. The exact quote was, "Can I interrupt? I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon." He didn't say Keon Coleman, so that's why I think it took him 4 hours, because he probably heard Keon. It's like, damn. I wonder who they're talking about. And then a couple hours later, his buddies probably texted him. Guys on the team are like, man, are you just gonna let him talk about you like this and be like, what do you mean?
What if Keanu misheard it and he thought he said Dion and it was talking about Dion Walker, the big defensive tackle? He was like, oh, man.
Deion Dawkins.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I love Keon Coleman. I pushed for him. He's got to lock in. He's got to be a little smarter. If I'm his agent, I am requesting a trade.
Yeah. We'll find somewhere else. I'll go back down to Florida. Find someone there.
Randy says in the chat, if you say Patriots going to beat Denver easily, I'll lose all respect. Well, you better go back to the beginning of the show because that was exactly what we said.
First 12 minutes is actually all that, Randy. Sorry.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you later. We'll be back. Time to be determined because I'm going to be in Mobile, Alabama next week for the Senior Bowl. We'll probably still go live at the same time, but it's to be determined based on what the internet is like in Alabama. But hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Hit the like button, and we'll talk to you later.